Welcome to Phonogenics 101, a Riotboy production hosted by Jeremy Gloff. The podcast where people who love music discuss albums track by track. Please hit subscribe, and if you'd like to support this podcast, patreon.com/Jeremy Gloff or Venmo @Jeremy Gloff. And now, on to the music. Hello, Kyoko. Load up the podcast, Phonogenics 101. All right, y'all. Phonogenics 101
is no longer here.
Kyoko is. Well, when we started the Janet Jackson series, I'm like, you bitches don't control me if you can't discipline me. And here we are. At least I have somebody with me still. We entered the trilogy of Janet Jackson post Super Bowl albums with trepidation. We were shocked with how good Damita Jo was. Mm-hmm. Despite the backlash we got on all the comments, we loved 20YO. Mm-hmm. And now we're here to complete the trilogy with Discipline. So no need to introduce our panel tonight. These are our tried and true. Jimmy, I love the hat that's on brand. So let me just say a little bit about me going into Discipline, then I'll let you gentlemen talk. I remember, Damita Jo was Damita Jo. 20YO came and went. So when things started coming out about Discipline, the first thing I heard was feedback. Like I heard the song, I'm like, oh shit, like Janet's back. Mm-hmm. Then the title came out. I'm like, Discipline, she's disciplined. She's here to kick some ass. Janet's here to rule again. Then when I saw the cover, the pictures, like the futuristic kind of cyborg, I'm like, ooh, like Janet is looking hot. So, after a couple albums that didn't perform like we expected, we had a really hot single that was being played everywhere in the clubs. We had a really hot album title. We had a hot cover art. And then the album came out. So what did you guys think leading into Discipline before the album actually came out?
Feedback was like immediate, accessible. I mean, you just like from the first time you heard it. I mean, listening to it now, it does sound like a product of its time.
Sure.
But in a good way. Like it was a solid hit song. I mean, yeah, all over.
Huge club hit.
Yeah.
I loved going. It was like the bitches were back.
Right.
Madonna had an album, Mariah Carey had an album, and Janet had an album, and they both had banger openings. Touch My Body, which I hate with a passion, but it was the number one hit.
You hate Touch My Body?
I hate Touch My Body. And
you be up all about my business like a Wendy interview, bitch.
No, chop. See, but my thing is like, I wish Obsessed had the notoriety that Touch My Body had, because I thought that was a better single. Madonna had 4 minutes, and she was also topping the charts. And then we finally had Feedback, and it was a hit. It was our first top 20 hit since Someone to Call My Lover. Mm-hmm. That is like, oh my God, that's a good 7 years. And then of course she no longer would reach those heights anymore. But it was a banger. It's a Janet song. I loved how experimental it was, and like in the club. I go to Twist with my friend Danny Arenas, and he's a huge Janet stan, and like he is like, he'd get the choreography in a video in less than a week, child. He was doing those dance moves at Twist, and I was getting my life. But I was kind of happy because I was very like positive coming into this, because like, after all the backlash, radio was playing her. Radio hadn't played her in a minute. So it was good to hear.
Didn't it really feel like we were emerging into a really huge Janet era? Like going to the album, it just felt like the look felt good. The title felt good. The single was hot. Like I thought like Bitch is back. And I thought this was going to be a huge album. And then the album came.
Wrong.
Yeah. So This was her only album on Island Records, right?
Mm-hmm.
It did
It's
not
the first
end well.
album, away from Virgin, because
Right.
20 YO ended up ending her and Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah. I do have the little feedback promo single with the remixes, so I gotta show my little collection. Yeah, so I bought the 2-disc version. I don't know if it was a Best Buy exclusive or whatever those were back in the day, but it has a DVD on it. Yeah, so I remember I would always buy the Janet albums and put it in my car. And yeah, I guess we'll go to the track by track. So feedback, heavy like a first day period. um like you said, Jimmy, kind of dated, but still hot. The thing that concerned me before I even listened to this album is Janet Jackson didn't write one song on the album. All the material was outsourced.
Right.
Not one songwriting credit, except like the interludes.
Well, there we go. That could be explaining why I'm not feeling this album like I felt the others.
Yeah, we actually didn't start if there were one more interlude on this album, I would really might have lost my mind. I was so done with interludes. It like ruined this album for me, because interludes, they're kind of cute the first time you listen to an album.
Sure.
The second, third, fourth, fifth time you've put the album on, it's like you just want to hear the next song. I don't need your little babbling, what you think is funny and amusing, to interrupt the flow of the songs. So to give this album a fair shot, had to make a playlist leaving all the interludes out, because I just thought there were way too many of them.
It's interesting because I feel like the interludes on Discipline tainted the Janet interlude, because I remember being so bitchy, like, oh, all her albums with those interludes. But then going back to Demita Joe, those interludes were cute with the poetry. No. And then 20YO, they were perfect.
20YO, like 20YO, I liked the interludes, and there were only 5, which was was a plus. Honestly, you don't need more than 3 or 4 interludes in an album.
Thank you.
You don't need, like, some albums have 1 or 2 and it still hits. I'm like, I'm just like, how many more? And like, it's so weird because we love the interludes, and then we were so over the interludes, and then in the last album for me, I was like, you know what, these interludes work and I'm fine with it. But here I was like, fuck my life, I can't, it's too much. It's like, I just want to get to the song. And it was just like, and it wasn't like, okay, so I understand. So she sets up the album with the interlude, and we get to know who Kyoko is, and it's just like, and it flows very nice. I think we could have had like 1 or 2 more after that, and I would have been fine. But it's just like, you get a song, you get 2 songs, you get an interlude. You get 1 song or 2 songs, you get an interlude. And it's like, for why? Why? Why do we need these? These are not the iconic interludes that we got in the 90s. These are not it.
Like Velvet Rope or anything.
Like, the Velvet Rope interludes are like on a plateau that no one can reach. So it's like,
on Velvet Rope, her coochie was falling off. On this one, our ears are falling off.
Oh, girl, I rolled my eye back too far, and I couldn't see for a good 20 minutes, and then I just wanted to stab my ears because I had enough.
Didn't Prince do something similar on Gold Experience with like kind of a cyborg kind of interlude thing? Did anyone even? Well, maybe not.
No, I didn't. But sometimes an interlude is a good, one of the highly underrated albums in my life is Dawn FM by The Weeknd, and he had Jim Carrey do some interludes, and it works so well.
Jeff X played the closing interlude at a poetry night we went to.
I was all like, it worked.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, we don't need that much, ma'am. We didn't need it.
So for the listeners, Kyoko's like a cyborg computer. And the whole concept of the album is cute.
Now, we needed to keep Kyoko. Had we kept Kyoko in 3 more interludes, then it would have been fine for me, because we had established Miss Kyoko.
Right.
But the thing is, it was just different. And I'm like, why? We don't need them anymore. And it's weird because, I spoke so highly of the last album's interludes with no issues. I kind of liked it. It was a personal touch, but now it's like,
who was her friend? Remember, she had her friend in the last one. I can't remember her friend's name. Like, I don't know, but she should have kept the friend instead of Kyoko. But I think the low point for Janet's interludes is the bathroom break one. Like, oh, like, girl, get that tape recorder out of the bathroom. She's like, all these guys are hitting up on me. Girl, when I'm in my 40s, the only thing hitting up on me is that Taco Bell drive-through. You know what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
I'm being ageist, but it didn't feel kind of like, I hate the words age appropriate because I guess that's a shitty thing to say, but
I'm trying, like, let me tell you, I clocked myself multiple times listening to this album, trying to tell myself, stop being a fucking faggot and let her do whatever she wants to do.
Sure.
But sometimes I was like, girl.
You know what?
Girl.
I don't want to say age appropriate. It didn't feel authentic to me. I didn't feel like that's what Janet was doing. Because her interludes were always like, you know, this is kind of what Janet's doing. She's talking about how she loves the beach. Her coochie's going to fall off on velvet rope. You know what I mean? Like, but on this one, like, I didn't feel like Janet was really like in a bathroom club, like, you know, taping her. I don't know. It didn't feel authentic to me. So going into this album, the question I had is, did she not want to write any songs, or did she feel pressured to let other people write? Like, I didn't know if that was a creative choice that she wanted to do, because Janet is known for her songwriting and the personal touch. So did she have such low confidence in herself that she let other people take over, or did she want to focus more on her singing? I really don't know.
I want to throw in, maybe the label said, bitch, you flopped twice and you just starting with us. So we know, like the same thing when Madonna went to Interscope.
All right.
They had her with these writing camps and all this other stuff. So sometimes maybe it was out of her control.
I feel like Discipline does have some vibes of MDNA a little bit, as far as like, you know, like.
Well, some of the songs though to me sounded like Janet could have written them and has written them, or has written them actually. In some of them, it's like, haven't I heard this song before? You know, in just
I have that in my notes.
Familiar.
A lot of repetitiveness.
Repetitive, yes.
Ooh. My allergies are bothering me, so if I had to mute sneeze, don't
please take your Claritin. Drink your Claritin, Shelby.
My friend Quentin, who's a huge Janet fan, that was a huge 20YO fan, in his review of this album, he said that he felt the label was trying to course correct and reintroduce Janet to the public in a more palatable way, and that the songs are the most Janet sounding songs that she'd done, because, you know, 20YO was pretty different. I stand by my review of 20YO. I still think it's smoking hot and amazing. But Discipline, I'm not sure.
I would put a bat for 20YO because it's got Enjoy.
Yeah.
Like I had never heard that song before, and I love it. It's top 10 in the discography for me.
Yep. All right, so let's go into the track by track feedback. Do we have anything else to say? Hot track.
An 8, at least an 8. Yeah. I like the experimenting with sounds. So you had drums, and you had like it was very like cheerleading, very, very very sports type of drums, boom, 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 which was great. And it was just like metallic sounding stuff. And I kind of like the experimental side, and it still sounded urban. So that was very good on that touch.
And it went with the futuristic kind of motif of the album. That was
Yoko could have shown up in that video. I just know it. And the video's fire.
Yeah.
It was complete fire. She looks so fucking good. I want to scalp her because that ponytail was fire in that video. It was 10s across the board. One thing that Miss Janet don't fuck around is a video. And we thank God that she serves videos, and she's good at that.
It's interesting because feedback was everywhere at the time, and it's not one of those singles that stuck around. You know what I mean? Like, they don't still really play it anywhere.
Yeah, they don't honestly.
And you still hear it for like 4 minutes here and there.
Because like the thing is, it's like I don't know, the issues that our divas have with streaming and stuff like that. The convenient thing is that for some strange reason, Madonna songs start to like take off on TikTok,
right?
And they get streams. You know what I mean? But I would love for a couple of Janet songs to just go blow the fuck up on TikTok so people can notice her greatness again.
I just found out, I know this is a sidebar, but Mariah's It's a Rap took off on TikTok. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I did.
I love that song.
Like, let me tell you, just I love it because the thing is, like, I like TikTok. I'm older than dirt and I love TikTok, but I just love it that somebody decided, you know what, I like this song. I'm going to take this snippet. I'm going to blow it up. And It's a Rap was huge for her because she banked on it. Just like, back that up to the beat.
Oh yeah, back that up to Madonna. Whoever would have thought that demo version?
Like, I love that demo. Me and Jeff live for that fucking demo, and it's like
that Madam X Sahara version was terrible.
Yeah, no, child. I wanted to kill. Like, I was like, how did you you took away the R&B funk that made me the Pharrellness of that song. Ugh. But continuing, feedback. Great single. Like, I thought we were going to get more.
So the producers on the album, there was a lot of Rodney Jenkins, right?
I like Rodney. Rodney's like...
There was some Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah, and I could tell there was some Jermaine Dupri because you can just tell. Rodney Jerkins, to me, is one of the best R&B producers of all time.
Dark Child.
My favorite classic R&B songs of the 90s and 2000s were produced and written by him. So she's in good hands with Rodney Jerkins.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and who else? Dark Child,
which is Rodney Jerkins.
Oh, that's him. Okay. See, I don't even know my shit.
No, it's fine.
There goes my Patreon. Okay.
Don't leave us, please.
Yeah. All right. So, any other thoughts on feedback? I loved it. I still love it.
I still love it, and I still bop to it. I love the Ralphie Rosario remix to it.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ralphie Rosario since like the late 80s. So whatever he touches, he knows he just makes it gold. And it was a great club banger. And I think personally it's a great way to introduce Janet again.
Albert gives
Janet song. I don't think anybody else could pull that song.
No, that's a Janet song. And Albert gives it the thumbs up. So thumbs up, and we will speak.
Oh yeah.
Albert. Okay, Love, LUV. Years before Madonna did Give Me All Your Lovin', LUV. This song is very 2008.
This song is very 2005-6. Oh. Let's get this right. Like, this album would fit that song like I wrote. It's very dated. An album too late. This could have been on 20YO.
Okay, fair enough.
And is it Jermaine Dupri? Because it sounds very Jermaine Dupri to me.
Let me look.
It's still cute.
Nope, it's Dark Child.
Is it? Oh, well, to me it sounded very JD, and it's still cute. I gave it a 6.
Jimmy, what do you think of this one?
I mean, I could appreciate it for its kind of urban pop sound of the track, and it does kind of bounce along. I mean, but it's one of those to me that doesn't have a lot of meat on its bones. It's pleasant enough, and it just, is a pleasant enough song, but it doesn't have the depth or something that really grabs me and pulls me into it. It's just like, it's pleasant to listen to, but
if it had a parallel in the Madonna universe, I'd say Heartbeat. Like, kind of just like, it's, it's there.
Do we really want to insult the poor Janet with the Heartbeat? No, I love Hard Candy. Who am I talking about?
Only one.
Bitch, I'm gonna go listen to Hard Candy after this. I just know it. But no, LUV is cute.
It's a good second track.
Yeah,
it's cute. I won't skip it, but it's not.
I would never skip it.
Oh, it's so good.
No,
it's just it's okay.
Pleasant, and it bounces along. It doesn't offend me. It doesn't hurt me. Correct. But after it's done, I don't miss it.
Nope.
Correct.
And I think it was a single or a promo single from the album, but it didn't do shit.
Right.
No wonder.
All right, so track 3, a song that our Sharon, who will hopefully be back with us for next month, Rollercoaster.
A bop.
It's been in my fucking head all week. It reminds me of the harmonies
in my head for the last 3 weeks.
Now, I didn't like it at the time, but upon revisiting the album, it kind of reminds me of Prince's Seven, the way the harmonies are, like that kind of melody.
I can see that.
But like, an updated.
But it's infectious. It sticks. That's
this one does grab you.
I can still listen. I still hear it. Like, I'm just like, it's a bop.
Now, when it came out, I thought it was kind of noisy. And that's why I didn't like it. But now I do kind of like it because it's kind of like a little experimental, a little gritty and noisy, but sweet. Yeah, me too.
And it's just, it's addicting. Like, you just want to, I've been humming it. I've been singing it in my head. I've been doing Rollercoaster this, Rollercoaster that.
That could be a TikTok
knowing
dance.
The Janet stands up like, that song is trash, but I love it. I love it.
I love the part with the male response vocal where it's kind of going back and forth with the male vocal down and the drum sound was like that was such a great hook. So it's full of hooks actually.
Now, Love, I could hear another artist doing, but Rollercoaster is another one that I feel like that's a Janet song.
Yeah, I'm trying
to could you guys hear could you hear Nelly Furtado doing Rollercoaster? Like, I feel like it's a Janet song.
Not Nelly Furtado.
Right. I know. I'm trying to think of who was out at the time.
La Fergie.
Oh, damn Fergie. Yeah, well, Albert gives Love and Rollercoaster thumbs up. I give it thumbs up.
I give a thumbs up too.
Yes.
All right, next. Back in the day, every Janet album had a thunderstorm. Now every Janet album has a video where they're in a dark warehouse. So this time around, it was Rock With You. I Want to Rock With You. Okay.
For me, the best song on this album has always been the best song.
Albert gave it 2 thumbs up. This song is fire.
Everything. A club banger. The remixes were fire, but the song alone, and I love, it's just like, you feel it's sensual, it's sultry, it makes you want to like, it just makes you want to whine, makes you want to be in that warehouse, sweaty as fuck, grinding up with all these men, but they ain't not getting the nookie, honey. They're looking, but they ain't getting shit.
Don't you feel like her vocals were a little Donna Summer? Like in the great way. Like, I just feel like she kind of had that, like,
I feel love. You say that because I had written down like she has like a really smooth, easy vocal on this one. Nothing is forced, nothing is put on, there's no artifice or
right.
It's just it is a very, like Donna Summer usually sang, straightforward singing, and I think Janet really just delivers this one smooth, easy, brings it home.
I can't hear anyone else singing this song besides this is a Janet Jackson song through and through. Through and through.
It was, I'm kind of sad it wasn't a bigger hit, but the clubs ate it up. Oh, the clubs ate this song up. These remixes were fire. And
do you think the throwback to Rock With You, because that's a Michael song, think that was intentional?
It could be.
I know.
But
I
don't see Michael. I see Janet.
Yeah, in this track.
I will take Janet Rock With You over Michael Rock With You any day.
Oh, please.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Personal opinion.
No, exactly. I'm like, I love them both. Like, Rock With You is.
Well, Michael's is iconic. That's an iconic.
I was going through
my
my streaming numbers, and Rock With You is my biggest MJ song. Most streamed MJ song.
Me and Kyoko will take Janet's version and
yes. I'm gonna send Kyoko a virus real quick.
Well, I give Rock With You 2 thumbs up. It is
2 thumbs up, a foot up.
Do you know where the song really like gets my adrenaline up is when that like bass line comes in.
Yes. Yes.
The bass sound is almost like 80s sounding. Like they almost have an 80s sound on the bass, but it's a very modern track for the time.
Yeah, I like the steady beat, but then when the bass kicks in, the song is, it just really grounds it.
It's genius.
It's great.
All right, so then it doesn't miss a beat. It goes right into the next song without an interlude, thankfully. Tonight.
Shocking.
I think tonight's Coming After Rock With You. I like it. I think that keeps the groove going.
I thought for me, I thought not bad, but not really special. That was my take on it. Like, the thing is, Rock With You is this high.
Sure.
It's very hard to come back. Like, she used to do it. But in this case, for me, tonight was okay. It wasn't like, I'm like, just like Love, I'm not going to skip it. I think it's okay. But it isn't something in the vein of like Rollercoaster and Rock With You. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure that Tonight really sounded like a Janet song to me. I mean, it sounds like electro pop of its time.
Sure.
But I think that other vocalists probably could have done that one. And, you know, it's, and the lyrics are like, it's like, here we go, another Janet song talking about sex. And it's like, good. How many times have we heard these lyrics? Basically, they're just rewritten lyrics from other songs that were probably better. I mean, this one, it's peppy and it moves along. I'm not going to skip it, but you know, it is a little, you know, it doesn't scream Janet Jackson to me.
I did like where it kind of goes into the disco-y kind of breakdown, which is like, you know, where it kind of has like the drums.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I liked Tonight a little more than you guys did. I like the like.
No, I don't dislike it.
No, I don't
all.
dislike it either. I just think it's okay.
Yeah,
the group is great. You hit the nail when you said that disco-y sound, because that's what I wrote. I was like, it's good. The groove is cute, but that's as far as it's going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I will give it a thumbs up. Where I gave Rock With You,
I would give it thumbs up.
I'm giving a thumbs up too. I'm not here like this. It's a thumbs up.
So it's interesting because so far we're 5 songs in, right? And we've given it all thumbs up. But this is where, for me, the album turns a corner, because just like All For You, she has a whole section of ballads, and it just, to me, it's like when you have a tent outside and it rains out, and like the roof sags. You know what I'm talking about? When there's like a big puddle and like the damn. So the first of the 3 ballads, slower songs, Never Let You Go.
No, I thought it was Can't Be Good.
Oh, Can't Be Good. Can't Be Good. I'm sorry. Can't Be Good.
I'm like, wait. Forgettable. Big time.
And was it a ballad or it's kind of mid-tempo, right? Like it's not.
Yeah, that's what I have. Mid-tempo R&B ballad.
For me, it was very forgettable because the thing is, I'll play the album at work on a loop. My poor boss, he must be so over it. So I played the album on a loop, and not once did I say, hey, for that song. For a few of those songs, nothing stuck.
And this one is
very forgettable, but the beat is good. I'm not gonna lie on the beat, but it wasn't something that stuck in my head. It's not Rollercoaster.
No, the lyrics are so repetitive in this song. It really is just like, okay, no.
And Manuel Seal Jr. was one of the producers and writers of this one, with Jermaine Dupri. All right, the next interlude, they're playing Truth or Dare. And then we go into Greatest X, the next ballad, right? Or am I skipping songs?
No, you skip.
Never Let You Go. Jeez, I just want to skip through these. Okay, 4 words.
I would skip it too.
Yeah. Never Let You Go is the one Manuel Seal Jr. wrote.
Oh my God. I was like, please let me go, because I cannot. It was so basic. It was pedestrian to me.
I wrote generic.
Exactly.
It was very generic.
I felt like E equals MC squared, like cleaned out its closet.
Don't insult that poor album that way.
I do love that album, but it did have a lot of ballads on it that kind of.
That's her bread and butter, honey.
Yeah, I know.
But let me tell you, when Janet hits a ballad, she hits a fucking ballad.
Well, those ballads on 20YO were just amazing.
Well, and there's a big difference between the ballads on that album and that ballads on this album. The ballads on the other album, to me, were a lot heavier hitting just had more depth and, you know, more of an urban kind of grind to them, where these are just kind of like pretty, like airy, you know, just kind of generic. Like this one just was very generic to me. It's like there was nothing special about it at all.
That one, Take Care of Me, almost had like a little bit of that shadow that I like. You know what I mean? Like a little darkness, really emotional. To me, our friend Albert said they felt like Janet was on autopilot for a lot of this album, and I had to tend to agree.
Yeah,
I do too.
All right, let me get this track listing right. Now we have the Truth or Dare interlude and Greatest X, not to be confused with Thinking About My Ex from Demita Joe.
I put more of the same, very basic.
Yeah, which it really is, because she already had a song about her ex. So, you know.
No, but the thing is, it's like, you're Janet Jackson. You're really Janet Jackson, and this is the song you're putting out. Like, to me, it was just like these songs are not for her.
So who would they be for? Like,
no,
who?
here's
An up and coming starlet.
This
An
is
up and coming, because like the Greatest X could be some new bitch coming out, her second or third single.
there are phrases in this song that actually reminded me of a Taylor Swift song. So it's like funny how, I mean, there were just parts of it. It's like you could like cut that out, put Taylor Swift's voice on it now, and nobody would know the difference, kind of thing. It, you know, and I don't know and I don't say that to criticize Taylor Swift, and I don't say that to criticize Janet. I just think that maybe it just doesn't speak to anything special that Janet might be doing, you know, in her own lane, vibe, groove, or what she wants. It's just another slow jam kind of thing. But I was listening to it and I was like, this particular part would not sound out of place in a Taylor Swift song. Which is
Y'all
weird.
remember that this was the first promo picture that came out? So I remember I'm like, oh hell yeah. And then we get this trash, these last three songs. All right. Well, this is the longest speed bump on a Janet album since All For You, in my opinion. It's so funny because like the people that watch our videos, like they were so mad that we love 20YO. I'm sure they're all gonna be pissed that we don't like Discipline. Like I feel like we can never win.
You know, the thing is, like, I hear a lot of hate for Discipline with some Janet stands. So I kind of like, I don't know. I just connected with 20YO, and with Discipline, it's okay, but it isn't like, it was a step down. And you could tell that, like, you telling me that she didn't write anything, it just explains everything to me.
Yeah.
I think 20YO is one of those that is maybe more interesting as we listen to it now than it was at its time.
For sure. Yep.
So I do think that is a unique quality to that album that at the time it just didn't land well. But listening now, there's this little nostalgia and appreciation for that sound.
Yep.
Now that we just, you know, took for granted basically then.
All right, so we're moving into the next. We have an interlude with Kyoko. We have So Much Better, which Albert gives a thumbs up to. I felt like this was an outtake off of Prince's Camille album.
Oh. For me, I thought it was very cute. I like the experimenting with sounds. And I think after these last three songs, this was a step above those last three songs for me.
Yeah.
For me, I gave it an 8. I was like, oh, this is cute. I kind of like it. Okay, we're back on track, Miss Janet. Let's go.
Yeah, because I like the sample from Daft Punk that kind of moves it along. I like it. Felt like Janet was now trying.
Exactly.
You know, now she was like in the studio and she's trying now. And I think that this is a successful song.
And it's definitely doesn't sound like anything she's ever done before, in my opinion.
Exactly. Correct. Exactly.
And it kind of goes with like the futuristic look and feel of the album. So I just feel like those three ballads really like, because, you know, the album was banging until we get to that middle section. If they would have just kept it going.
That for real.
Or like spread the ballads out
Right.
Like after
Thing is,
tonight, if
regardless,
you
we
just
would have been
went from
talking shit about the ballad if it was just one ballad after the other one, because they weren't. They
I
just
mean,
were not it.
if you went from tonight to so much better, I mean, those two would have like banged it out
Yeah.
together, back to back, without
Mhm.
that, the dirge of ballads.
It's so funny because Janet's talking about how she's so much better than the other girl, and Madonna was doing the same thing on Hard Candy that year with She's Not Me. So our divas were a little fierce in 2008.
And they were just ragging on their men's, and I
know.
loved it.
All right, so next we have the one which Albert gave a thumbs down to. Missy Elliott is here. Talk about 7 inches, threesomes.
I kind of agree, because Missy's okay. It's got a beat that'll make you move, but we've heard that type of song already dozens of times from her, and from them too. You know, they've done a couple of songs already together, and this is just wash and rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? And it was nothing new. Nothing like, oh shit. You know what I mean? I felt like they knew they worked together lovely, and I like that. But it was just like, okay, let's do what we did, 8 years ago. Let's do what we did 4 years ago. And it wasn't like something like, hey, let's mess around. Let's do stuff. Let's incorporate stuff. Let's try to do something different. And like that was my biggest flaw with the song. Like, I've heard this song before. I've heard this song before on other albums. You know what I mean? And not like how we get an Escapade, or When I Think of You, like a classic Janet, like, yes, bitch. This was like, okay, I'll dance to it. I won't skip it. It's got a great beat, but to me, I've heard it before, and the word repetitive comes over again.
Yeah, I mean, I do not dislike the song. I agree that the problem with it is it just does sound like so many other songs we've already heard. So it's almost like, oh, which album is this?
Correct.
Have we gone to a different album or something? Because it's so reminiscent of what we've already heard in other places.
See,
So
I thought that,
I mean, I'm not gonna skip it either. It's fun, and I love Missy, so it's not, it has its qualities, but they're not breaking new ground.
Correct.
I thought the beat and the sample were pretty funky. I thought Missy was a little, like, at this point, like, I just don't need that as raunchy as she was. And I know that's coming from me, like the whole of the century, but like, it just kind of stuck out on this album. Like, I'm like, okay, here we go.
I'm here like trying to pass my hair up,
I know.
because when we know she ain't talking about dick to begin, let me stop.
It's interesting because Missy comes back, right at the beginning of Unbreakable, and I love it. So, yeah, I give it
It's a mid.
Yeah, mid.
It's kind of mid, but I'm not gonna give it thumbs down.
All right,
We're
next.
giving enough thumbs down.
What's Your Name? This is another mid-tempo.
An overused beat for me.
Yeah, Jermaine Dupri is back.
I should have known. Like, it works. It works. And like, what's your name? And it's catchy, but we've heard it once again. We've heard this before. It's been overused.
I've heard
And
it
unlike
all
sometimes
before.
where she overuses, exactly. Sometimes she'll overuse a sound and it's fine, but in this case, it's like, okay, Janet. It's got a hook, it's got a catchy beat, but it's not like it is what it is.
It's no
Honestly,
substance there, really.
correct. I can see
There's
that.
no, yeah.
I think maybe if it was placed different on the album, maybe it would have. I don't know.
We could have moved it to the front, because it is a bop. It is a
Right.
bop. It'll get you moving, and it's catchy. I won't say that, but the thing for me, it's always like, okay, so this is a rehashed beat. We've heard this before. You're not bringing anything new, but it is addicting because you want to say, "What's your name?" Boo, 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 boo. You know what I mean? It sticks, but you're not gonna be like, "Oh my God, it's the best song on the album." You know what I mean? It's just it's catchy, but it's just okay.
Janet's an icon, so having a song that's just okay, a legend. All right, we have another interlude where she's talking about the meaning of discipline.
Shocking.
So the song Discipline. Now, I kind of like, it's a catchy song, but this is my issue. And let me just put this out there. When I heard the title of the album and the concept, I thought Janet was going to be, she was the dominatrix. She was the one in charge. Like, I'm back after a couple albums. Like, I'm back. Don't fuck with me. But the song, she's the one getting disciplined. Like, Daddy, I've been a bad girl. Spank me. Take it out on me. And I'm like, this is a weird full circle from Control, where Daddy, like, we're taking control from Daddy, and then here we are. You know what I mean? Like, to me, this song kind of turned what I thought the concept of the album was. It kind of ruined it for me. Because I'm like, I thought it was Janet's back. She's strong. I'm going to discipline you bitches. But she's saying, like, spank me. And I'm like, no, bitch.
No, this was done better on Velvet Road. This whole concept had already been done on Velvet Road, so I did not need to rehear this.
There we go.
This album.
And I feel like at this point we really needed Janet to be strong and to be in charge.
She should have been.
And Mike, like this is her bread and butter, sexy, sultry R&B. But we've heard this before, multiple times. It's not different. It's not new. And you're absolutely right. Had she went the route that you said, it might be different. Because we've never seen her like that. We've seen her, yes, she wants to fuck a guy anytime, any place, shit like that. But we've never seen her where she is the bitch. And she's whipping these men. And she's telling these men what to do.
I feel like this would have been a great opportunity.
Yep. Oh, there you go. Missed opportunity. Yeah.
Because in my mind, Janet is that bitch.
Oh, of course she is.
And
of course there's no denying.
A song titled Discipline, it should have cracked a whip. I mean, it should have been like whip smart lyrics, just, like a fierce track. And this one, you hear the title, then you play the song, and I'm like, this is not what I was thinking it was going to be at all.
And truthfully,
she needed to wear your hat, Jimmy.
Yes, she needed a hat. Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable to hear a woman singing a song written by men about a woman being that submissive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it made me a little uncomfortable, honestly.
Yeah, it wouldn't go in today's world. I think that this would be cancel culture,
Like, what are the lyrics? Like, I've been take it out on me, take your stress out on me. Like, no, girl, no one, hell no. Hell, fuck no. If someone comes here and takes their stress out on me, get the fuck out, motherfucker. Hell no. So that's not what I wanted from my Janet. Right. I didn't want to hear her telling some man to take his shit out on her. Bitch, give me a beat. Who's that eating that nasty food, motherfucker? Get the fuck out. So I think this song kind of, once I heard it, it kind of turned off the whole era for me, and I never really recovered. Because everything leading up to it, when I heard the song, turned it all on its head. So, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. There goes the YouTube comments, probably ripping me apart, but,
Blame me, y'all.
Blame me. You know what, YouTube? Take it out on me. I've been a bad boy.
Yeah. Discipline me.
Discipline me. Bitch, Janet, you better discipline those motherfuckers. You don't need anyone taking shit out on you. We love you, girl. We don't want that. And that's why, not to give it away, but fucking the next album was like such a comeback. Ooh, can't wait for next month. Everyone that's ever been on this panel better be back for Unbreakable. Just for my January is my birthday month. So
I think because the thing is, like, with Discipline, with Unbreakable, it was like 8 years, 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
And the thing is, she went through so much.
7 years and a lifetime. I feel like both.
Like, you know, first of all, the death of her brother that she
Yep.
was very close to, you know, her marriage, motherhood, all these things.
And I think she stopped and really took stock of like, holy shit, all this happened in the last few years.
Well, not motherhood, but marriage, because she was supposedly touring this album when she had to stop because she was pregnant.
Because after the Super Bowl and all the trauma of that, like she just kept working. Like, you know, she did Demita Joe, she did 20YO, she did Discipline. And she,
because that's what she does. That's what you do. What are you gonna do? Sit back? Like, you know, this is fucking Janet Jackson. Yeah. This isn't Reby Jackson. This is Janet Jackson. Please.
Shit. Like, poor Reby.
I love me my Centipede.
Centipede.
Centipede is my shit. I listen to it at least once a week. But this is like, it's, you know, she comes out with albums every 2 to 3 years. It's never been different from her. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I guess, you know, she had fallen out with the public and you know, and she was going through a lot, and it was good to like sit back and just, you know, regroup, get yourself together. And that's why Unbreakable was like a #1 album and all this stuff, because it had been years, and people, like, honestly, people were missing Janet.
I know I've said this, but it might be my favorite Janet Jackson album, and certainly in my top 5 of the last decade. Very nice. Powerful. Maybe I like it maybe better than Velvet Rope. It might be my favorite Janet album.
Oh. I'm gonna have fun listening.
Oh my god, it just every time I like when we're listening to these last 3 albums, I'd skip ahead to Unbreakable and I just start crying. I'm like, it just brings the tears out. So powerful. I hope you guys don't hate it because it will break my heart. All right, we have 1 song left on Discipline though.
We have 2 songs left.
Well, the interlude.
Not me listening to the, you know, the deluxe version up in here.
Oh, okay. Well, Curtains is the last song on the proper release. To me, it's just a ballad.
I think I liked it. I thought it was cute. I kind of, like I said, you know, the deluxe version had 1 more song, and then it had the Ralphie Rosario remix to Feedback. The last 2 songs for me, they might be basic, but I kind of like them. Like
Let Me Know, is that the other one?
Yeah. Okay. Let Me Know. Catchy. It's stuck in my head a lot.
Is it a fast or slow song?
The lyrics were busted as fuck for me, but I like it. I kind of like it because, like, it's catchy. Like, she had a lot of catchy shit on this album. Like, these lyrics, some lyrics were horrendous, but then other lyrics stuck. Like, these hooks, at least she had good hooks.
The hooks were there, yep. And Albert also gave Discipline and Greatest X thumbs down, just for the record.
Deserved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I did not listen to the deluxe. I did not do my homework.
I'm here thinking I need to listen to the deluxe because it's going to throw these questions on me.
Jimmy, do you have any thoughts on Curtain, or did you listen to Let Me Know?
Curtain, I mean, to me, it was just another slow jam. You know, I think I was just so exhausted from the previous slow jams. And again, these are just not my favorite kind of ballads, slow jams.
You did say that in your chat.
Yeah, I just like them that hit a little heavier than these. So I was not particular. I was kind of glad it was Curtains. So that I was like, okay, that means this is over. You know, I think this album is unfortunate. There are some really good moments, but there is so much that's either repetitive or it harkens back to things we've already heard. So it's disappointing because Feedback set the high bar. You know,
yeah, it really did.
God, this song is a banger. This is it. And then as you go through the album, it's like there are good things in it, but they get lost once you reach all these repetitive parts. So you kind of forget the great parts by the end of the album because you're like, you know, exhausted from all this mediocre, you know, stuff that's in there.
And you know, and that's another issue is that she doesn't have these bona fide hits spread out. Like, she congested the good songs in the first half and then left us left us to our own devices toward the end. So it was like.
Let's also mention this is the first Janet album since Dream Street without Jam and Lewis involved.
And it shows.
Yeah, it shows. Let me read something Albert wrote because I think it's interesting. He said, the rest of the album, they're all middle for him. Harmless, listenable as background music, but middle of the road. The interludes are silly. Is she living on a spaceship with a Japanese robot? He rates the album 6.5 out of 10.
That's generous.
Yeah, so what do you guys rank Discipline?
Oh Lord, I don't even know that I ranked it. I'll have to look back. Let me see what I ranked some of the others.
Thank you all for doing this. I love our Janet chats.
I'm gonna give it a 6 because the thing is, it has Rock With You, it has Feedback, it has Rollercoaster, it has good songs on there, but like, it's okay. It's, you know, it's not Dream Street. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's still, it's a step down.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Albert's 6.5. I think Rock With You is just breathtaking. Feedback is hot. I like Tonight a little bit more than you guys did. So much better. It was cool to hear her experiment. Move over Christina's Bionic.
Poor Christina. Bendito.
Poor Christina. Poor
but
flop.
It gave us Sia, so I'm just stay quiet. Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling a 6-ish. When I'm looking back over what I rated other albums, I'm just feeling that this might be, more 6.5. Yeah, 6 to 6.5 in that range. Yeah, it had its good moments.
We did the trilogy, gentlemen. We did Tamita Joe. We got our life. We got our life and flamed on YouTube for 20YO. And now we've done Discipline. So just so we can get us up to speed for next month, after Discipline, Janet released a greatest hits album called Number Ones, which it was kind of a stretch because it's like number one on the world chart in Brazil. Like they weren't all like number one pop hits. So I feel like
no, but like, I fucking got diamonds.
Yeah.
I fucking got diamonds. I hadn't had diamonds, and it's such a Janet song to me, and I'm like, so that was one of the I bought the ones. I bought it, like no shame, and I have all her shit, but I still bought it because I didn't have diamonds. You know what I mean? And I wanted diamonds, and I was like, fuck it, let me just buy it and get it over with. Like I could have bought the single, but fuck it.
For some trivia, do you remember her other minor hit with Herb Alpert? Making Love in the Rain, the ballad?
I didn't know that one.
Yep. She had a ballad in the
she had a back-to-back club number ones. She had Pleasure Principle and she had Diamonds. And I'm like, bitch, if I feel like Jeff, the bestie, is a huge Janet stan. And we will always quote Diamonds like nobody's business.
Oh, it's such a good song.
I used to be like, you bought me candy, it melted, nice try. We're always like that all the time. So it's like,
that's another song that was huge that doesn't get played that much anymore. You know what I mean? Just like Feedback. You don't hear Diamonds.
But I wondered, listening to this album, if I was kind of just let down because I had been so pleasantly surprised by Tamita Joe, pleasantly surprised by 20YO, and then, what were my expectations too great for this album?
I know I so badly wanted to be like, all three of them are masterpieces.
But this one just really kind of just disappointed me the way the others, surprisingly, I enjoyed them much more than I thought I would.
So instead of Discipline, it should be Disappointment.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the new track on Number Ones? Make Me.
I liked Make Me. I liked it. It was a good club bop.
Yep.
Like I liked it a lot.
I feel like it's aged well too. Like at the time, I'm like, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it, but I put it on a couple years ago. I'm like, oh, this track is on. This is a fire track. So
it's deserving to be in an album like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll get a greatest hits album and they'll be putting in some songs and you're like, really, bitch? Really? I was like, this isn't Rescue Me. This isn't Justify My Love. This isn't Make Me.
All right. Well, we have done Janet all the way. We only have one Janet Jackson album left. Can you believe
I'm kind of sad. I've had so much fun doing these Janet things.
You know what was interesting? Because like Madonna, I know how much weight Madonna carries in my life. And I knew how emotional, like we all knew that some of those were going to be really emotional. But for Janet, I think we forget how powerful and how much of an impact she had. So a lot of these podcasts are like opening up a treasure, album by album.
You know,
like,
see, that's the thing, because after the Super Bowl, it really affected her. Right. And the thing is, we're a bunch of fucking boomers. And we will forever speak the gospel of Janet Jackson, but how do we get her to transcend to other, you know, generations? Right. Like Madonna, like Mariah. You know what I mean? Well, I fight children every day when they fucking try to say that Janet Jackson is not a legend. You know what I mean? I gotta fight these kiddies and beat them with a stick because it makes me so, it irks my spirit, because like Janet is that bitch, was that bitch, will forever be that bitch. And like, you just like, bitch, if I'm telling you she's the shit, listen to her shit. You know what I mean? Don't be like that. Don't be like, oh, because, you know, she wasn't a big in Europe or she wasn't big in this area, but she's big here.
Right.
I mean, I lived like Madonna's first album and Janet's Control were the album that was like what was playing in the clubs when I first started going to clubs. I mean, they were like current albums being put out. So for me, they just hold like a certain place in my life. You know, because I lived it real time.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, Velvet, I mean, you know, Control, Rhythm Nation, and probably Velvet Rope really re-grabbed me for some reason. I don't know what in particular, but I had kind of like, you know, not as crazy about some of her stuff before Velvet Rope, but Velvet Rope to me is like a masterpiece. So
it's a masterpiece to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, my masterpiece is coming up next month, bitches.
I can't wait. All right.
I'm so excited.
So, David, thank you for being my Donna and Nikki and sticking by my side through the tours.
I'm your cider, Garrett.
Jimmy, I'm so glad you joined the Phonogenics world. I just love having you here. This has been so much fun. And I have a great holiday, everybody. Jimmy, I'll see you tomorrow for Blondie. We have another interesting album to tackle. Then I'm done with podcasts for the year.
You deserve your break.
I need a break. Yeah, I'm taking my little glitter hiatus where I gotta check out for a little bit. So, all right, Jimmy, I'll see you tomorrow. David, I will see you in the new year to talk about Unbreakable.
Woo-hoo!
Happy holidays.
Bye.